Okay, we'll start the workshop 5 minutes late. Go ahead, Mr. Randall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, first of all, I'd like to start by congratulating Mr. Gross and Ms. Powell for your re-elections.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you guys.
Welcome aboard.
From what I understand, we're going to have the Red Flannel Queen in court visiting, although I don't see them. Hopefully they'll be here at 7. We have a public hearing set for the resolution 2016-29, the Brooks property transfer. That was spearheaded by Ms. Newland. I will let her talk on that if she likes now or at the hearing.
Everything's in your packet of minutes. Just a general transfer, hooking up to our water and sewer lines. So.
And was this already approved by Township?
They made the request.
How far do our water lines go down Pine Street?
Out to the church.
Just the church, right by the CTA? Yeah. So we gotta run lines down?
Somebody has to remind.
So, if they sell it. It's all contingent on the sale, right?
The land is already split, so I don't know if they've already sold that property.
I thought the bottom line on the letter from Dwayne said that if the sale does not go through, then it's all null and void. Am I right?
I think that language is in there. I'm not sure if that was standard language or
If it's really, not really, could possibly not happen.
yeah.
Nobody knows for sure.
Well, from what I understand, Wayne was very serious about this Brooks retirement facility, and they've got plans going up and everything, so I'm sure it's going to happen.
I said no.
So if it's happening, yeah.
No.
I believe in Jared.
I do too.
I don't know why I wouldn't.
Right.
He knows you got
Okay.
Utilities will be coming off from White Creek, but
Oh, you're coming back from White Creek, huh?
yeah, they're going to establish an easement where not mains, but only water lines that run to the water and sewer lateral. We're going to call them runs to that building off from White Creek.
So we have it to the corner, White Creek and this.
Just behind.
Beyond City. They can cross over right there.
Oh, they can go right down through the property, get right away and come in.
Okay, so I did add a bunch of discussion items for you guys, primarily because we didn't have that many action items, and of course I like spending time with all of you. So, discussion item 7A, Veterans Day and Martin Luther King Day. I'd like to close City Hall to the public. Staff will still be here cleaning up, organizing, taking boxes upstairs, doing that kind of stuff. And of course, Veterans Day is tomorrow, so we've had it posted on the front doors, on the website and all that, so hopefully we won't have too many members of the public caught unaware by that. Martin Luther King Day is in January. I think it's a Monday, and we'd likewise like to close on that day. 7B, recording council meetings policy. At our last meeting, Councilor Gross indicated to me that he might like to discuss the policy further. I put this as a space reserved for him to do that if he just so chooses. C, suspension or modification of city policy number 12. This is the second time we've discussed this. At our last meeting, I drafted a minority vote option, like we discussed. I'm not ready for you guys to take any action on it. I'd like to take this slow. Hopefully you guys have some comments, questions, concerns on it. 7D, Humane Pet Acquisition Ordinance. This came to me from county. Apparently another city in the county's had difficulties with a pet store selling, what do we call them?
Designer dogs?
Yeah, designer dogs, puppy mill type dogs. And of course, I think that city wanted to promote the adoption of animals from rescues. So that's a possibility moving forward if we get some positive discussion on that. The F, American Hotel Feasibility Study and donations. Of course, I was not at the meeting. I've heard various accounts of what happened and whatnot. I've not spoken with Dwayne McIntyre regarding the study. The last I heard, the study was supposed to be $1,500 now instead of $7,500.
Yeah,
Um,
not with me.
The smaller
I
study.
would have home.
the smaller study.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a list of names in my office of people that I'd like to contact. I'd like to leverage council. If you guys happen to know any of these people that you might have a better connection with them than I might, that I might ask you to ask them for a small donation towards this cause. I have had one person promise me a sum of money, and I was given money by one person. Actually, I take that back. I was promised money by two people. So we are well on our way.
Are you at a liberty to tell us how much more we need as we're moving forward asking people, or is that not something we can?
I don't want to say it at this point.
Okay. I know if you could give us a ballpark when we're trying to get other people.
It's not going to be much more,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
If we have a donation, who would we have them contact to donate to, and what would the check be made out to, or to whom?
I guess the city manager at this point, I'm not sure what regulations we're going to have to deal with as far as creating a fund or anything for this type of stuff. That's something I'll talk with Darla about.
Have them contact you then?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I take the money, whether the city would be bound to put it in its budget in some way. We may have to do a workaround and keep this a totally private deal between individuals to get the study done. So we'll work on that after the meeting.
Is it still in consideration checking the feasibility study for other things or just a motel?
Well, and that's why I don't want to put a dollar amount on it, is if we get to the $1,500 mark, I may then start saying, well, how much is the next study up, and do you want to put money towards that? You know, because we have some very generous people in the city.
We do.
I don't want to take advantage of anybody, of course, but
Right.
I think the city and the citizens want to move forward on a lot of things.
I have gotten so much, I don't know about everybody else in council, but I've gotten so much outpouring from people that just, they want this, like they want it now, they want it. I mean, yeah.
So as Councilor Hopkins indicated, we might be able to get a study that would help us get more business in addition to a hotel. And I think depending on how much money we might be able to acquire, we can consider doing that.
I think that's a good idea.
Do we, the minimum study is 1,500, do we know what the next study?
I don't.
Okay,
We did find out.
we didn't find out.
Well-
The lady that was there presenting basically said, because we don't have competition,
Right.
they didn't have to go into a more complex study to see if the future would demand, you know, a better percentage of fill rate. And I asked her specifically, I said, will Rockford, will they in the future, do you think that they're going to be interested in a hotel? And her indication was, from working with them, they don't want a hotel.
Yeah, they'd actually, she made it sound like they've done
I
it,
suppose that
so
could change.
they turned it down.
I suppose that can change, but no competition, small study, and it's
And I asked if Greenville was considered competition, and they said, no.
Too far away.
It's too far away.
Greenville already has this type of hotel there.
Right, that's why I was like, is this competition? It's the same thing even, I mean, like if you put two Holiday Inns next to each other. And she said, no, they're too far away and it's not in the same like corridor.
The city has a number of natural advantages, one of which is that we're on the 131 and directly north of Grand Rapids. So, but moving on, 7G, the land donation to Habitat for Humanity. We have two properties on Pine Street, just east of 5th. We're going to split one of them to make them 3 separate lots and then see if Habitat for Humanity would like them to build on. I did reach out to Habitat for Humanity earlier this week. They have not gotten back to me, but I've been out of the office a little bit, so
They've done that previously.
I will.
There's a Habitat for Humanity house at the end of Fifth.
Yeah. And the mayor and I drove past that the other day, and it's actually a very cute house, to the
Yeah.
point where I said, hey, I'd like that house.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll build one and donate it to me, though, unfortunately.
And I'm guessing the people who live there probably don't want.
Probably that as
And
well.
you could ask, like, hey, got an extra room?
But I'm bringing this up now for any discussion on donating it. And in the future, if I get a hold of Habitat, I'll move this to an action item. 7H, the walking trail park. These are those two big properties that has the walking path through the middle from red flannel apartments down to the schools. They're currently on the tax rolls, and it's my understanding that if we designate it as a park and combine those properties as a natural habitat safety area, I guess, that we might be able to get those off the tax rolls. So I have Tom looking into possibly purchasing some signs to designate as a park. We may have to come up with a name for the park, so I'm looking at any suggestions.
There's a trail through it, right?
Correct.
I think maybe that would be even something that at some point we would, I don't know, put some gravel in or.
Well, I think the trail's fine the way it is.
Okay.
It's raised just a little bit over the rest of the floor of the forest area.
Okay.
What I do understand is that it does get very wet and flood-like.
Wood chips, maybe?
I think the wood chips, there have been wood chips put down there in the past,
Yeah.
and they've floated away.
Um,
But the mayor and I did walk up and down it, almost a month ago now, and it was just fine then. So it might be one of those 3-season type
Sure.
parks. And of course, the animals will still love it.
Yeah.
7I, IT Rights will be in City Hall November 16th to set up their booth. I put it here as a discussion item for any council issues you might have, such as email. It would be very helpful if you would make a list and let my office know.
Certainly.
That way we can approach IT Right and have them attempt to fix those issues at the outset. Although, Rose, I think we've got your email working pretty good here, haven't we?
Yeah, but I can't access the city email. I have to, everything has to come on my Yahoo account.
You're accessing your city email here at this computer.
I can, but it's coming on my Yahoo too, so I don't have to come in and look at that one.
Yep.
As far as I know, I'm getting everything.
What I'm saying is that you do have access to your city email now.
Right,
Yeah.
right, except I can't get on my
But
laptop.
only here.
Right.
That's problematic.
Yeah, so we're going to look into what we can do to make sure that everyone's password works and we can access their emails and try to figure out what we can do moving forward that we don't lose access.
Okay. I never had access.
I've been using mine since 2014, it works.
Yeah. So,
It's never worked.
7J, Main Street facade improvement and real estate catalog. This is going to be one of those long, ongoing things. I just wanted to make mention of the fact that once it starts getting cold and my office slows down, one of the things I'm going to do is walk up and down Main Street, take note of which buildings are not occupied, then attempt to figure out who owns them, who's in control of them, and then approach them and try to figure out what we can do to make them look better. I think a large part of Main Street's problem right now is the empty buildings don't look inviting. Even some of the filled spaces don't look inviting. And I think we have a lot of traffic through town. I think we have a lot of people who go up and down Main Street. And I think we can improve our economic standing if we had more inviting storefronts.
The people at Jose's would love to have a chat with you.
And I figured the next time you're available for lunch, we could go over and do that.
Okay. Because she reached out to me again.
Good. Because they're one of our main problems, I think.
Yeah.
Jose's are the ones next to
They need some support.
them. Jose's are the ones next to them.
Well, I'm not sure if those are the same people or not.
The grouping.
Yeah.
My building needs some stripping up.
Yeah, I got some ideas too for that low cost when I was
Yeah.
down, I know. But back when I had a business, yeah, I will. And I worked at Conrad's and I had a business. The police department, I don't know if you guys still do that or not, had a contact number for each and every business. And in case there was something happened, like it burned down or something while they were out of town. I don't know, do you still do that?
Once a year, we send it out.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've brainstormed a number of ideas with various people on this. And, I mean, something as simple as buying a new set of blinds for that building next to Jose's. The blinds look horrible. I don't know what it would cost, $20 or $30, but that would be a huge improvement
Yeah.
just to that building.
I suggested paint. I said I
Paint?
could somehow for paint.
I'm sure we could get donated paint and you could paint buildings.
Somebody was out there doing Chuck Lance week, I thought.
Now, something that's a little humorous, but I think it would actually work, is places like in the mall and at Disney World, whenever they're doing work, they put up fake facades, you know, of pardon our dust kind of thing, and it's got like a fake window standing there. So it would obviously be fake, but it would be a nice looking fake at least.
Better than the blind.
Yeah, so there's a number of options. That's just something I'm going to look into over the winter.
Yeah.
The Urban Art Initiative. Another thing about downtowns that I've noticed is when you go to a hip place, there's lots of color. It's, in my opinion, that Main Street could use some more color. So there's a lot of different options, either a mural on a wall or encouraging businesses to put up colorful signs, colorful storefronts, colorful windows. And I know the DIA has a program where they will put art pieces along your walking paths and your parks and that kind of stuff. So I'd like to look into that. I'm looking for any ideas or discussion on that.
Random Acts of Hazel page did a great tree of knowledge. You know,
Yeah.
but they did it in
They did it
chalk.
in chalk, and it was on,
There's still pieces of it there.
is it?
Yeah. On the side of the,
Where Ricardi's is.
yeah.
And that was cool.
That was really awesome. I remember thinking, I wish this was in paint.
Yeah, because it was.
So whoever did that, if they would do it in paint,
And I've seen cities that allow high school students to paint their fire plugs coming out of the ground in different things, and there's just a lot of different options, and I think it's something we should explore.
yeah, the Random Act of Hazel page.
Well, we're going to talk about that then. The public park smoking ban. I've attended a couple of the Parks and Rec meetings recently, and Barb Veenstra indicated to me that one of the reasons they weren't interested in using the upcoming amphitheater was because of public smoking. So I indicated to her that we were willing to work with the Parks and Rec Board, that they might use the amphitheater at some point, and this is one of her main complaints. I'm not totally against it either. I don't like the idea of adults smoking around children, and
It creates a mess too. Like, you either have to have places for people to put all their cigarette butts, or they're getting, I mean, like, they're all over the lawn. And then if you have places, then people have to empty them. I mean, it's, I don't know.
the only issue I think that we would have is actual enforcement of it. I'm certainly not going to ask the sheriff's department to be out there enforcing a smoking ban in public parks, but it would give them the ability, if they so chose, to enforce a rule. I would hope that people would self-police if we pass an ordinance to that effect.
Do we currently have anything like that for the other parks?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, no, the kids gather at,
Yeah, I was gonna say it, Wriggle.
not just Riggle.
No.
I can't, Morley,
Morley.
thank you, I couldn't get the word just like.
I'm sorry, Morley is what I meant.
Smoking
They come
part.
across the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
The bridge.
and they
Yeah.
gather under that pavilion
Yeah,
and all smoke there. And,
because they can't smoke at school.
sure,
The ones from the,
New beginning.
New Beginnings,
They
yeah.
moved them down to the main campus now, so there's not as many.
Yeah, and most of them are older.
yeah.
In the staging area, there's like a million cigarette butts there.
And we could certainly,
That's what I meant by the mess.
Yeah.
what we could do is ban it in the entire park except for certain areas too.
Yeah, that might be a better
I think it
solution.
might be,
Designated smoking area in certain spots.
Yeah,
yeah.
because I understand.
Because at least then you could contain the mess. I mean, you could at least have designated one of those little
Butt thing.
butt things and,
But,
yeah.
Designated areas if I say west of a headache, or whoever's putting that in, but if they say, hey, you can smoke over there versus saying, hey, you can't smoke.
I think maybe the smokers need to tell us what's the best. I mean, I don't know if there's smokers at council or former smokers. I've never smoked, so I'm not.
There should be an area, those guys pay a lot of taxes.
I'm not suggesting they don't. That's what I'm saying. But you might have a better solution of like the best, like where the area should be and what it should look like.
Well, they got them so they can't smoke inside now. If they can't smoke outside,
Yeah.
they're gonna break the law somewhere if they wanna smoke.
Maybe the sheriff's department has some experience or can get some information for us from other communities that have something like this?
I did that a few meetings ago, and there are several cities that have no smoking in the city parks. It has to be legally posted, you have to have postings around the parks. I think it'd be pretty difficult to enforce smoking areas. In fact, I don't think we'd be too interested in that.
Okay, you actually think the van is better?
You're breaking the law here, but you're not here. Typically, it's a lot harder to enforce. This is just from our perspective. We try to enforce whatever rule we chose on, but it's when you're talking about events. I mean, when you have events, you guys are exempt from specified ordinances, anyways, right? You get a community event. I mean, that's one option is you filling out the ordinances that you want to be exempt from, whether it be noise or
Right.
some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it'd be to check smoking.
Parking, lights, yeah.
Well, what I'll say is this, because I may be the only one on council that smokes, is smokers are pretty trained. That we understand that most people do not want to deal with our cigarette smoke, and that's okay. Like, I respect your right to not be destroyed by what I'm doing. So, well, that's true. So I feel like if there were a smoking area, most smokers that I've come across are pretty trained that, okay, we can go over there and not be hassled about this.
As long as it's posted.
As long as it's posted and there's like a butt can over there, the ones that I have run into are not opposed.
We just need a lot of signage.
Right, but like, okay, so right now we're at Spectrum Health, and clearly that's a no smoking campus. Well, so is GRCC, who's right across the street. So people at this point are like, okay, I'm going to go where no one's going to hassle me. And at night, that's GRCC's campus, even though they are non-smoking, and it's an $80 ticket if you get caught. Because
I have a colleague who's now quit smoking, but when it became you couldn't smoke in school, and you have to be so many feet off the school property, that at lunch he would get in his car and drive across the street and park, like on the edge of the road, to be able to smoke.
And from a public health perspective, it would be best if nobody smoked. However, if you make it illegal everywhere, they're going to be like, okay, where can I go to not get caught? Because that's just what it
They
is.
can't shoot wrong. And everybody knows that once you say no, you can't do something, everybody wants to.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Let's see.
Don't even think.
Let's move we can talk more at the meeting, if that's okay.
Okay, if you say it out.
So, 7M, the Riggle Park Dog Park. I was approached by a couple of women with their dogs who indicated that they were upset that the city did not have a dog park. As you probably all know, I have 4 dogs. I love dogs. So this is near and dear to my heart. Me and the ladies identified Riggle Park as a possible location for a dog park. Of course, the problem with that is I don't know if the city should be in the place of making the dog park, and I don't know how we would pay for a dog park.
There was actually a discussion, oh my gosh, 6 years ago, about making North Park into a dog park.
There's no merit.
Yeah, so it has a lot more ability to be developed, and it's not like currently being used by kids, like the way Riggle Park is.
I think with North Park, part of that is going to be scraped out for water retention.
Vandalism is a big issue there. Big,
That's a trailer park.
say the least.
But you can take your dogs there and run them and stuff. They don't necessarily have to have playground equipment for the dogs.
Well,
Some people like that.
Real dog parks.
it's fencing that's the
Yeah.
issue, not dog
But that was
park.
part of what, actually, we thought that maybe the dog park piece of it might control some of the vandalism. That was it might be a way to upgrade the whole, I don't know, it never went anywhere, but that was,
Currently, I see people using Skinner Field, which I know the Skinner Field folks are not a fan of. But, and I have to say, it's tempting because it's all nice and fenced in, and I would love to take my dog over there, but I'm going to know they would not appreciate.
Yes.
I think it's posted, no dogs.
It is, but
Specifically because you don't want your little kids playing on a field with a bunch of dogs.
That's usually
yeah,
the case.
well, yeah.
the Riggle Park is used by a lot of kids.
Yeah, that's prime climbing area.
Especially for the little kids.
I figured there are some corners in the back you might be able to use, but
Yeah, sure, if you found some piece of it off.
just wanted to bring it to council's attention and get some discussion on
They
it.
were talking about like making the major part of North Park with like stuff.
we couldn't even keep the fence up for the outfield fence, or
Yeah.
bleachers, where it was a major issue. That's all.
Okay. It just kept getting destroyed.
They tore the fences down, they destroyed the bathroom, they busted down the cement block bathroom.
Once upon a time, police station lived up there
Yeah.
to try to prevent it, and it still hasn't.
Anyway,
That's a long time ago.
7N, the library appointment. I thought it was in the best interest of the mayor and council to push the library appointment to December, specifically because I didn't know who would be mayor after today. So that will give us another opportunity for the mayor or the new mayor to
The
make
mayor.
that appointment in December. Item O, Small Business Saturday banner. Councilor Hopkins approached me and asked whether City Hall would be willing to put up a banner at City Hall for a Small Business Saturday, which of course is the day after Black Friday, where we're supposed to shop at small businesses, which is what composes our downtown area. If my lovely assistant would hold it up, we can show you what the banner looks like.
Woohoo!
So, I have no objections to putting it in City Hall, primarily because it promotes all business. I would not be okay with it being one business,
Sure.
but if I don't hear any objection, we'll probably do that.
Awesome.
Outside of a thing to wipe your feet on, we can put that in the vestibule.
Great.
P, the CBDT amendment to license and development agreement. This just came to me the other day, so I didn't have full time to look into it. But the CBDT wants us to add an amendment to their license and development agreement that we've already had in place to add the properties that they donated to us. I don't see it as controversial in any way, but I just didn't have time to get it together. So we'll have that ready for the next meeting. Action items, Darla Falcon appointment. Darla Falcon was our unanimous choice from the interview committee. Thankfully, she said yes to us. She's been working with us for about 2 weeks now. She's been doing a great job. Everybody seems to like her, and I'd like to keep her. So if you could appoint her, I would appreciate that. B, the motion to approve resolution 2016-31, mingle with Chris Pringle community event application. This came before you guys last time. It's received all the appropriate approvals from all my department heads and the sheriff's department, even though I didn't have them sign it. And I accidentally added the red flannel one after that. We don't have to approve that just yet. So, yeah,
Red flannel for
I
next year.
accidentally added that one.
Oh.
So, if you could approve that, I would appreciate it. 2016-29, the Brooks property transfer. That's the resolution following up the public hearing for the 425 agreement. Motion to approve resolution 2016-30. This is your regular meeting dates for 2017, as compiled by Ms. Newland. 8E, motion to seek designation as a trail town by the North Country Trail Association. This is something the CBDT suggested to me.
Oh, have we not done it already?
I don't know if we have.
I really thought we did, but we can do it again.
We had to get approval first to become, have a trail coming to us, which we've got done at this point in time. As a matter of fact, we met with North Country Trails the other day to get us on the map now.
I saw that from
Now
Luke
that that's
on
approval's all
Facebook.
signed, we can now apply for the trail town status,
Okay.
which will just give ink to the city.
it's our next step in the process.
I'll do it 20 times if it makes you happy.
I think what you're thinking of, we moved very quickly in the
On
beginning,
the MOU?
and we thought, we were getting there, and then one of their other higher ups came in and said, well, we got to slow the process down.
We got a new person in charge.
Is that what?
Yes.
Okay, so we're kind of, we had to back up a little bit, and then.
Yeah,
We
I think
got
I
them up to speed.
like made speech, and, yeah, we can't.
Also, the CBDT is having a meeting here Monday, 8 o'clock in the morning? If anybody would like to join me, I'll be here bright and early. Okay, and then the mayoral appointment of Darla Falcon, assuming that you approve her appointment.
And if she doesn't run away screaming.
And she doesn't run away screaming. To the Cedar Springs Parks and Rec Board, from what I understand, the treasurer is the person we normally put there, and I will join her at meetings, because I like those meetings. Other than that, bunch of communications, partner reports.